Every name you drop got roots in the grind. History speaks loud, just listen to the line. We struggle to shine, we honor the climb. We're losses hit deep, but sharp in the mind. Real don't flex, they just move with weight. Welcome to the legacy, room A-108, go to the legacy. Yeah.
All right, everybody, welcome back to room A-108. I'm your host, David. Joining me as always, my co-host, CJ. And on today's episode, we're going to give you a little Bears recap from week 1. We're going to give you the full NFL recap. We're also going to touch on next week's game between the Bears and the Lions. So this dedicated to NFL episode. So we have plenty to talk about because there's a lot of stuff that went down this past week.
For sure.
Yeah, it's
sure,
good.
Man.
Good, mostly bad. So
yeah.
I'll let you take the floor first, man. You were actually at the game, so I know the pain is running even deeper being there for that. So tell me what it felt like in that arena, in the stadium.
Yeah, man, I definitely was there. Shout out my boy Pat Hill from the Vikings, who's
Shout out Pat.
Been on the episode before. Was able to send me and Tyler, me and my son, a couple of tickets to come watch. From the start, it started off great, bro.
Yeah.
Started off great. It was pumping in there. Loud. It was probably the loudest game I can remember since going back to like the 2006 Super Bowl run, when I was working at Soldier Field that year. But yeah, just from the jump, Jim Cornelison doing the national anthem. You got the flyover. Bears win a toss. They defer. Vikings get the ball. 3 and out. And it's at a fever pitch, bro. It was deafening in there. Then Bears get the ball back, march down, get a touchdown, and then Vikings get the ball back again and punt. So that whole first quarter was unbelievably loud in there, bro. So it just felt like it was going the right way.
Yep.
Until it wasn't.
And then the Bears bared.
And then I say, so second quarter, Bears, they get the field goal that made it 10-3, but then the Vikings came right back and got a field goal to go into halftime. So it was 10-6. So it wasn't feeling like it was the gap that it should have been.
But, I did want to say, like, it did feel like we were still dominating. The score didn't reflect it, but it felt like the Bears were dominating the game. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
For sure. No, the way it was going, it was clearly one-sided, to the Bears the whole first half. And then, of course, second half starts. Bears get the ball, punt, but then very next Vikings drive, they get the pick six.
Yep.
So now it's 17-6. You're feeling good. You're like, all right, cool. Ben Johnson gonna do his thing. We're gonna be able to, put some space between us. And it just never happened. The whole second half, offensively was, a total 180 from what they did in the first half. And I say probably, I think it was either the end of the third or early fourth. My bad, I can't remember exactly when. Santos missed the field goal.
Yeah, I can't remember either exactly, but it was right around there, yeah.
That was the point where in the stadium you felt it.
Yeah.
Like everybody in our own section, even people I wasn't with, was like, yeah, that's it right there.
Mm-hmm.
And you just felt like the momentum changed. And then right after that, it was just 3 straight possessions of Vikings taking the ball and scoring touchdowns. So, I say I'm not off the Caleb and Ben kind of bandwagon because I see where it's going. I see what they want to do. There's definitely some play calls on Ben Johnson's hand that he would want back. And I think he kind of alluded to it the last couple of days.
Yeah, he did. Yep.
In his press conferences. Definitely some throws from that Caleb would want back that he missed, that fourth down, DJ Moore wide open. It's an easy catching, to the sticks. And if it doesn't score, it's first down at least and keep the chains moving. But yeah, those two specifically, and I know you looked at me sideways when I commented on your post and said those two lost the game. But I mean, between the decisions that Ben Johnson made that he probably would want back and the missed throws on Caleb's end, they had a chance to, you talking about a game where you went into the fourth quarter up 17-6, but with all of the missed opportunities, that's a game that could have easily been 27-6, 30-6, something where, a 3-score game easily. So when you look back on that, yeah, the missed opportunities makes you feel like, the coach and the quarterback are kind of mostly to blame for that.
My biggest rebuttal with that is so we're in a world where like two things can be true. So I do agree. I don't think Caleb played a horrible game. I think he played a bad second half, which is important. Closing out is very important. And I think Ben Johnson also, admittedly so, he had a bad game calling the plays. So I do think there's going to be a lot of growing pains coming with this. But my perspective was, I know it's all about algorithms on Facebook and Instagram and everything, but to me, it seemed like everybody, Caleb. I'm like, the defense gave up 21 points in the fourth quarter. Like you just said, 6 points at half, and then it was just, they couldn't stop anything from happening. And, people want to blame Caleb for not being able to take them off the field. That's fine. But at the end of the day, you can't be in the NFL and have a successful defense and allow people to just, now you've shown other people that no matter what, they're always in the game. There's no comfort. And it's just, it was bad, but you know what? Like, it's eerily similar to Nagy's debut. When we played the Packers Monday night, first game, have the lead at halftime, strong, and all of a sudden, they come back at the end of the game and they just snatch it from us. And it was just eerily reminiscent of that, man.
I think the problem with, I get where you're coming from, but the difference between those two is that debut was on the road, right?
I don't think so.
That's 2018, right? That was the Khalil Mack game in Green Bay, right?
Only reason why I say I don't think so is because I remember the crowd going nuts, and then just, I could be wrong. You could be right.
I might be a year off.
No, you could be right.
I might be a year off. Maybe
I could just remembering wrong.
His debut could have been 2017 instead of 20. I know Khalil Mack's debut was that 2018 Packers game where he went crazy in the first half and they ended up losing the game.
That had to be it. That had to have been it.
Okay, so but and if so, the reason why I say this, the difference is that's a game on the road.
No, yeah, no, I get
home.
that.
You're at home this year, and that's a game where the elements are in your favor, the crowd is in your favor. You don't have to worry about silent counts. You don't have to worry about being rattled, at the extent that you would be rattled on the road. So to have those opportunities at home, is the thing that's kind of like, man, that's you gave away an opportunity for a win that you should have took. At the end of the day, we could sit here and talk about all of the things that they have going for them. I think we both are kind of in agreement that, we're not off the bandwagon, but it's still a game. Like you said, two things could be true. They pissed away an opportunity,
Yep.
But we can still be optimistic, and look forward. But yeah, the only reason they were in the game is because of the missed opportunities, even going back to the first quarter.
Yeah. Going forward on fourth down.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And I think that's a little bit for him, I think, and I'm not reporting anything. I'm no sources. I'm just saying for me, I think that was one of those things that where his adrenaline kind of got to him. He's used to doing that in Detroit.
Yeah, that Dan Campbell mentality.
He's used to, going for it on fourth down. But maybe that's an opportunity here, in this first game, while this, orientation of your offense is still in the infancy stages. Maybe you just take the points right there and move on. But
where I do agree with you though, like I mean, like I said, granted, Caleb had a very poor second half, but Ben Johnson, I mean, the underutilization, like Luther Burden, I barely even saw him on the field. The the Komet Loveland duo. I mean, they had a couple catches, but that was, I mean, Rome pretty much was the only one that really stood out like that. Even DJ Moore, except for a couple specialty plays where there was no choice but that he was going to get the ball. All these just, we had all this surplus of weapons on offense, and I feel like none of them were really utilized. So I feel like, even Ben, from his point of view, like, he's this offensive genius, but he still got to figure some things out.
Yeah, and I think the problem is, and I think we had talked about it in a previous episode. I think we were talking about Braxton Jones, right?
Yep.
And I think I kind of said, I think he'll do, and Ben, when I say he'll, I think he'll do a good job of scheming him out of, danger areas.
Yeah.
But when it comes to that, formationally, all of the people that you want to get the ball to, now one or two of them are on the sideline now, because you got to go heavy formation. You got to bring in a second or third tight end or a swing tackle, to protect these guys that you don't trust, on the offensive line. So yeah, that's what it turns into. You get Luther Burden with only, one catch for -3 yards. Loveland out there, getting good cardio in. So
yeah,
it'll. I have faith that it'll turn around and it'll look a whole lot better as the season progresses. The same way, when I said last episode that I expected the Lions to struggle, and they went out and got the doors blown off.
Yep.
Yep. But that's still my pick to go to the Super Bowl. I just think that, the players are still there. The talent is still there. But when you take away everything that you took away from that team from a coaching standpoint, I think anybody would be a fool to think that they were just going to start right back off where they left.
Yeah.
So it's going to go some growing pains, but I think that by week 5, 6, 7, I don't know when their bye week is, but I think by, week 5, 6, 7, they'll catch their stride and they'll be right back to where they were last year. But, when you got so much turnover, so much change, so many things that you got to get back used to, I think anybody would be a fool to just be like, oh yeah, they just going to go right back to what they were doing. Like, it's not, it don't work like that.
One thing I did notice is, the whole offseason, Ben Johnson was preaching, this is not going to be the same offense as in Detroit. He certainly ran it like he was in Detroit because he was trying to establish that run game by any means necessary. Now, granted, I get it's important to establish the run, but at some point, besides that one series with Swift that unfortunately ended with only 3 points, it was like the run game was non-existent, and it was like he was afraid to really let the pass game loose. I mean, granted, there was nothing clicking. That offense, even when we were, besides that first drive, the offense never really looked like, oh man, this offense is just unreal. It was never like that. And I didn't expect it to anyways, because this is also what I wanted to point out. Minnesota is a phenomenal team. Okay. So everybody's just like, oh, the Bears, even at our best, they're one of the best teams in the NFL. They have one of the best defensive coordinators in the NFL.
If you did not, disclaimer, I'm going to get this back to you.
Mm-hmm.
If you're watching and you did not watch our episode with Pat Hill, please go back and watch it.
Yep.
Understand why we put so much praise, on that man in the way that we did and who he works for and the tutelage that he's getting. Brian Flores and the Minnesota Vikings defense and their whole coach staff for that stamp from that matter is top tier. That is a top 3 to 5 coaching staff in all of NFL.
Absolutely.
Would you agree?
Absolutely.
So anybody who would sit here and listen to us and act like, oh no, go back and watch it. And that's upper echelon right now. Not even just in our division. That's when you talk about the entire NFL, that's top tier, and that's where we're hoping we can get to. And Brian Flores and Dennis Allen are comparable. I would give Flo.
Oh yeah, I would definitely give for sure.
But that's a step that I think Dennis Allen could take and get there.
Yeah.
And the same with Kevin O'Connell and Ben Johnson. We hope that Ben Johnson gets to where KO is as an offensive play caller and head coach. And if we can, that's a model. It's a great model to try to look up to and try to get to at some point.
Now, there's going to be a lot of people eating their words because there's no way for me to not sound biased. So I know you probably know where I'm going with this, but you know, I keep seeing people saying, "Oh man, you guys lost to JJ." JJ McCarthy has had 3 losses as a quarterback since he was 15 years old. So he may not put up 300 yards.
Should have had 4.
I agree though. We had that game. We did lose that game, but like JJ did what he does. Like if you see the locker room clips, even Justin Jefferson, he had nothing but praise about JJ. He was like, man, for him to be that young, he has a lot of confidence. Even when we were losing, he came in at halftime. He stood there. He gave everybody a 5. Like, man, keep your head up. Keep your head up. He has that natural, like, the power of positivity. You know, he just has that aura about him. Maybe he'll only get 150 yards, but he's going to get the most meaningful 150 yards that he could possibly get. Like, and that's, I mean, I'm going to go to Michigan. Like, he was what we needed. And just like that game, JJ was what they needed. So I think we'll see, you know, 5 years down the road, he may not be, you know, a Lamar Jackson or anything like that, or he may not be a Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, but he's going to be that guy that will definitely always keep his team in the game because he can manage the game. You know, he can be what the team needs him to be. So people are going to be eating their words talking about we lost to JJ like he's some bum. I'm like, nah, there's a reason why Kevin O'Connell just let Sam Darnold walk. And he had the season that they did it last year. He's not a dumb coach. He knows what he's doing. So there's a reason why he let him walk. So just everybody just watch what you say about JJ.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, still should have took an L, but
I got a little over passionate about that. My bad, man. That's the Michigan side of me coming out.
I'll let you get yours off when it comes to Michigan.
Hey,
we got some weeks coming up where I'm gonna be grandstanding like that about Miami probably, but you know, it is what it is.
I guess this is a good time to transition. I actually watched, if you want to recap, I watched Cam's debut. I can't blame him. If you watch that game, did you watch the Titans play?
I wasn't able to watch that game in its entirety. I think I got back from my son's game right in time to kind of catch like the end of the third quarter and into the fourth. But I was still watching red zone, so it was bouncing around,
right. Yeah.
You know. But yeah,
you can tell he doesn't have much to work with. Like there was a scene in there. I watched pretty much the whole second half, and there was a moment where you could see Cam Ward's dad get up, and he was just like, oh. I mean, you couldn't have thrown a better pass. I mean, it was going to be like a 30-plus yard gain. And it's just the lack of – there's a reason why they had the number 1 pick, you know. So, but he's going to be something. Like if they can just get a couple weapons around him, he's going to be something
that's
special.
That's a game where I think if that game was played in Tennessee instead of in Denver, Titans probably win that game.
For sure.
That's a tough spot for you to be, you know, as a rookie, number 1 overall pick, your first NFL start is on the road in altitude against
probably the
best defense, probably the best defense in the league.
Yep.
If not 1, no less than 2.
Yep.
And I'd, you know, challenge anybody to tell me who would be 1 above them. But
yep.
I'd listen to it if you want to give me an argument. But in my opinion, that's probably the best defense in the league.
Yep.
So when you talk about that, you know, him on the road, first NFL start against that defense, and to be in it all the way till the end, you know, not only is it a testament to him, but it's a testament to that team who a lot of people, you know, left for dead going into this year, didn't have many expectations for him. But if that's a game played in Tennessee, you know, who's to say it don't go the other way?
Yeah.
Sean Payton gave him every chance from it. You know, I flipped to it, you know, right as, you know, that last drive was kind of coming together, and Sean Payton definitely left it there for him to take. But, you know, it is what it is. I think he has, whether it's Ridley, I was getting ready to say somebody ain't there no more. Westbrook ain't there no more. So yeah, you're probably right. What's his name? Westbrook Akine. He gone now. So they probably need another receiver.
Yeah.
Now that I'm thinking about it, I was thinking about somebody who was on their team from last year. He ain't even there no more. So,
yeah. Like I was watching the game and I'm sitting there. I'm like, man, I had to look these people up. I don't even know who these some of these players are, but I didn't watch him and see failure. You know, like I saw him. He looked confident. He looked poised. He's just in a bad situation, going against a tough team on the road, like you said, a tough defense on the road, and it's a tough team. They're a playoff team, right? They made the playoffs last year.
The Titans?
The Broncos.
Oh, the Broncos. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. They made the playoffs.
They
So,
you got doors blown off when they got to Buffalo. Which that's that's tough. You know, when you talk about as a rookie, that was Bo Nix's first playoff start.
Yep.
You know, and you got to travel to Buffalo, and
that's tough.
Yeah, it went about the way everybody probably thought it was going to go. But
that's I mean, I know maybe you don't want to talk about it too much. I know you're a big Ravens fan, but I mean, that is, I would say that was the best, arguably the best game, maybe the most kind of back and forth game of the week.
So I was sitting, hey, y'all gonna hear me shout Pete Hill out a lot because I was sitting with Pat. The Vikings had just got in town on Sunday.
Yep.
So met up with Pat and Jaron, shout out JD, shout out Donza, some of the other homies from college. We had met up and we were watching the Sunday night game. And I think it was right around when it was the Ravens got the ball back at some point when it was 40-25. Mm-hmm. They had a chance to, that was what he had said, like, this is where we're going to see what, if this Ravens team is different than the other ones. Yep. That's the point where you got to put your foot on their neck, and didn't do it, ended up punting. And then kind of just anybody who watches the NFL long enough knows that there's certain points in games where the momentum, you meet a fork in the road momentum wise. And that was, just a point where they could have went and got it done, and they didn't, and left the door open for Buffalo. And when you do that on the road, a lot of time, more times than not, it comes back to bite you in the ass. But, it was a hell of a game, man. Some fluky stuff that ended up happening. But it is what it is. It doesn't make me change my outlook on the Ravens one bit. It's still a team that nobody is going to want to play.
I agree.
They're going to run the ball down your throat all game. Got weapons out there for Lamar to throw to. So I don't think anybody is going to see that game coming on the schedule and be eager to play it.
No.
At all.
Not at all. They gave us exactly what the NFL wants from football. They want a high scoring, back and forth, high suspense game, a lot of drama, marquee quarterbacks, everything the NFL could possibly ask for, they gave us. And being just a fan of football, which years ago, I think I told you this because I think you said you were trying to start up a fantasy football league. But years ago, man, I was a diehard fantasy football player, like diehard, and it was ruining football for me because I'm stressing out about someone not getting 10 more yards and I gave it up, and I was finally able to just watch and enjoy football again. FanDuel and DraftKings kind of ruined that again a little bit, but for the most part, I can just sit back and enjoy football games. Like, I have my emotions involved when Michigan plays. I have my emotion involved when the Bears play. But being able to just unbiasedly watch a game and just enjoy it like that game, loved it. Like, I can't. A good way to segue again with, I did have a little more emotion, but Jets and Steelers. I
was at Tyler's football game, so I didn't catch any of that game. I was just kind of following along on my phone here and there when it was got some downtime in my son's game. But I would hear certain people in the crowds, say, "Oh, Justin playing good. He killing right now." So
he's doing his thing, and I was definitely surprised by Aaron Rodgers. I thought that door was closed. You called it last week. If you all want to go rewind the tape, CJ called it. He was like, "Man, I got a feeling about Aaron Rodgers and Metcalf, and just Tomlin in general. That matchup is again. That's another game that the NFL." You can't ask for anything better. You got quarterbacks flip-flopping teams, and you got both trying to redeem their careers. Back and forth game, high suspense. It's awesome. It's a great game. I'm not a fan of Aaron Rodgers. I know you are. But, to see Justin playing.
Whoa. Don't put that out there like that.
You do like Aaron Rodgers.
I'm a fan of that man talent-wise. He's a D-bag, bro. Don't get it twisted. I don't want nobody sitting here watching this like CJ like Aaron Rodgers.
You're a fan of him as a quarterback.
Probably the most talented quarterback I've ever seen.
Yeah,
good quarterback. terrible human being, bro. So let's get that straight. Don't sit here and tell these people that nah.
Y'all gonna come in the comments being like, "Oh no, they're Aaron Rodgers supporters."
Man,
like,
you go Joseph Lehman to tear my damn head off. He hear this,
man.
bro.
If you all want good entertainment, though, go to one of our live episodes where we're going back and forth arguing about Aaron Rodgers and Drew Brees. It's very, very good stuff. If you all want to see a Stephen A. Smith, Skip Bayless moment, that was the closest you get with us because we were going back and forth then. But
and you were so mad about it. You were the next day you were going to Pro Football Reference.
Oh man,
and you was clipping
stats.
And I was like, man, I thought we moved on.
I think you were responding verbatim, like, man, get that out of here, man.
I thought we had moved on, bro.
Called me a stat nerd and everything. I'm like, oh man. But no, it was good. Like those organic back and forths. That's what, if it happens, it happens. Which happens with sports, which is cool. But
for sure. But I think this was probably the best. Not even just from an entertainment standpoint, but from a competition standpoint, probably the best week one that I can remember.
Yeah.
In any NFL season.
Yeah, it's a lot of good games.
Like in my lifetime, like I'm in a survival pool with a couple of my homies with, Manny and Jamari, Manny and Juice. And I even told them, I'm like, man, it's hard picking these games. Like you just looking at the slate for week one. It was just like, bro, I don't know how to pick this. It was so many interdivision games. The season kicks off, the Thursday night with the interdivision rivalry, the Eagles and the Cowboys, and then you go back the next game and it's interdivision again in Brazil, Chiefs, Chargers, and it was like they just kept. And I was like, hey, I want it, man.
Yeah, it was a great way to bring back football. NFL, man, they got everything they wanted out of week one. They got it, and I mean, just being a fan of football in general, like I'm excited for the season. Like, of course, I'm excited for the Bears. I never expected us, like Bears fans. I'm sorry, realistically, I think we should all just realize that we're not going to win the Super Bowl this year. All right, so just have expectations of us being better than we were last year, progressing, and enjoy the rest of the teams and just enjoy some good football because that's more of the realistic world we'll live in. Now, if we ride that roller coaster and it so happen to happen with the Bears, cool. But just don't look forward to it. Don't put that drama on yourself.
Is there anything else from that week one, whether Bears, Vikings, or anything else of week one that you want to touch on before we look to week two?
No, I think that's pretty much, we touched on everything. I mean, like I said, it was just it's going to be a hard act to follow. Week two, we gotta bring it.
Tomorrow, today's Wednesday, for those who, we're shooting this on Wednesday, September 10th. Tomorrow kicks off at week two with Commanders, Packers, Thursday Night Football. Hell of a game.
Yep.
For, us as Bears fans, the NFC North angle, get to watch the Packers again. But Jaden Daniels and the Commanders surprise season year one, I should say. So I'll be interested to see how that goes.
Yeah, I don't know if I think a mixture of things could have happened with that first game between the Packers and the Lions, but I'm anxious to see what's going to happen with the Packers this week. Like, I'm not saying they're not legit because, I mean, we all know the Packers were going to be, as much as I hate to say it, we all know they're going to be a successful team this year, but how good are they? Are they legitimately that good to the way they beat Detroit? But I think this will be a good gauge for that because, I mean, a well-coached team, great quarterback, it should. I'm going to watch. I'm going to tune in. Got to. Prime time, two great quarterbacks.
Standalone game, only game, on the schedule. I ain't got no choice but to watch. But
yeah.
Two young. I mean, of course, Jordan Love isn't as young as Jaden Daniels, but still two younger quarterbacks with a lot of upside, a lot of hype, especially for Jaden Daniels. I love to see the Commanders roll into Lambeau and put a 40 burger on them. And
absolutely.
Go to bed Thursday night and with a 40-3 win or something like that. I love it. But, I think it'll be an entertaining game. Maybe Parsons might up his play count a little bit. I know he was on a little bit of a pitch count week one. So maybe we'll see him, play a few extra snaps and, just hoping it's a good game, man. But go from that to, of course, Bears Lions in the 12 o'clock slot on Sunday.
Yep.
Ben Johnson going back home. 2 teams coming off losses. One team coming off of pretty good thumping, and another team coming off one that they let slip away. So I'll be interested to see how that goes.
Yeah, personally.
Did we both pick that as a loss?
Yeah.
All right. So
yeah,
all right.
we both picked.
So we staying with it.
Yeah.
I still don't see them going into Detroit and winning that game.
I don't see them Detroit starting off 0-2 unless. So this is where my whole mindset was at going before Monday happened with the Bears. Like, I'm like, oh man, Detroit got whooped. So my ideology is Ben Johnson and Glenn were that impactful for Detroit. And then, I'm kind of hyping myself up, but then they both lose. Jets lose, Bears lose. So I'm like, okay, it could be many things. So I just still don't see, regardless who the coordinator is, there's too many weapons. You can't take away the fact that the Lions just have a stacked team. Stacked, young, fast. They just have a good team. So I don't see them starting off 0-2. So we'll see.
I think the thing that gives me pause for the Bears going into this game is, even if like Kyler Gordon and Jalen Johnson and TJ Edwards, even if they come back, kind of the things that plagued the Bears offensively a couple nights ago against the Vikings, that's not going to change when you go on the road.
Yeah.
Like if that stuff was happening at home, when you can kind of, control the cadence and control, the crowd noise a little bit, and you were like 12 penalties for 100 and something yards. And
yeah, it's bad.
With the false starts and if that's what you were doing at home, good luck to you when you go to Detroit, in the dome, and that crowd is going to be juiced up, and, we'll see, man. So even if they get some of those pieces back on defense, I just don't see how, in a short week, because they just played on Monday, I don't see how in a short week that you change or make the necessary changes quick enough to kind of eliminate some of the BS that we saw Monday night. So
yeah, it's
a game where I might get out of hand. Honestly, if Detroit comes back home and just going home is kind of the cure to some of the things, some of their woes in Green Bay, if they can get back home and that's a get right game for them, that could be a 2-3 score game and we staring at 0-2 and nobody's feeling good about themselves going into week 3. So
I can already see Bears fans. Johnson's as bad as Eberflus or something like that if we start off 0-2. Like, I'm going to go ahead and say it, man. I might have said this before, but, like, I love the Bears. Love my Bears team. I love my hometown team. People that want to talk about all hockey like some. That's what a fan is. You're a fan. You're a supporter of this team through the thick and the thin. I rode plenty years down with Michigan. I'm riding plenty years down with the Bears. I mean, we've had a couple peaks, mostly valleys. But like, I don't like Bears fans. I don't like Bears fans. Bears fans are some of the most hypocritical, jump to conclusion fan bases. You know what? I think it's the Cubs fans mixed in that are Bears fans in there. That's the same mentality, man. I look at my timeline. I'm just like, wow, like this is what we are as a fan base. And a lot of times it just angers me, man, because I see a timeline full of put in Bajent. I see a timeline full of, Caleb's fingernails, just the same stuff over and over again. But then you look at other fan bases who just ride with their players through the thick and thin, man. It's just, but Bears, Chicago fans in general, they'll throw you under the bus quick as anything. Look at D-Rose, man. I mean, I know he's loved, but there was a while there where his own fan base was throwing him under the bus. So Chicago fans, we got to do better. Ride for our team. Be supportive. Don't be so negative all the damn time, man.
Yeah, man.
So it just don't overreact if we start out 0-2. Like we're playing, granted their division play, we probably have the best division in football. I mean, I kind of saw all along we're probably still the worst team in the division. It is what it is. But that's not saying we're a bad team. It's just we got 3 great teams in our division.
But for those doom and gloom fans out there, if you go to Detroit and get the doors blown off you. And the Cowboys look a little bit better in week 2 because they get to play the Giants. Now you're looking at 0-2, getting
Possibly
ready to face
0-3.
a Cowboys team in week 3 that's feeling themselves a little bit more than you are. When do the Bears get their first win?
Yeah, it's so we talked about this when we did on the last episode. We kind of did our projections or picks for the whole season, and we said it's a 2 or 3 game swing either way. I had 10 wins, you had 9, and it could very easily be 7 or 6, as well as it could have been 10 or 11. So we don't have an easy schedule this year. I mean, we have a couple games where I'm like, okay, we could chalk that up as a win. Granted, anything can happen, but I mean, I don't think any of these games, for the most part, are just cakewalks. So
No, not at all. And like I said, even though things didn't go the way we all want them to go Monday night, opening it up, Monday Night Football against the Vikings, and even though we can agree that they pissed away a game, I still see the vision. I still got faith and hope, and I think it'll end up turning around, man. So, we both got losses coming up week 2, though. We did predict, so as much as we predicted them to go 1-1, I guess if we stay true to our predictions, I guess we looking at 0-2.
Granted, I don't think either of us expected Detroit to lose the way they did week 1. So I don't know if we would have made that same prediction. But I mean, granted, I'll stick by my guns.
Yeah, cautiously optimistic. I don't think it's from the way that both teams played week 1 and having to go on the road with, like I just said, with the things that you struggled with at home week 1 and having to go and try to fix those problems on the road in a loud environment, in a dome, in a division game. I just don't see how you're able to fix that, like that in a short week. So, I'm going to watch, cautiously optimistic. I hope that they, make some changes and Caleb, fixes some of the accuracy issues. And, we come back here next week and we talking about a 1-1 football team. But I'm not going to be surprised if they go and they lose that game, bro.
Yep.
So
I know, I agree. So, I don't know. I agree. I'm just, like you said, I'm cautiously optimistic about the game, but at the end of the day, Braxton Jones still got to block Hutchinson. That's going to be a key factor into the game. I don't think we win if Johnson, Gordon, if they're not back, Edmonds, if they're not back.
Edwards.
Sorry.
Yeah, Edwards.
Yeah.
And I was down there by that tunnel during warm-ups. He was out there doing a pretty extensive warm-up to try to see if he was going to be able to play.
Yeah.
He looked like he was moving well, and I think that maybe they were just a little bit, just more on the cautious side, holding him out. But I think if that was like a must-have game, he probably would have played. Just from what I saw from him out there working out before the game, he was running, cutting, doing everything that that pretty much everybody else out on the field was doing. So, when they he goes back into the locker room and they released the inactive list and he was on it. It was a little bit surprising. But at the same time, I was just like, hey, it's week 1. You don't want to risk it this early in the season. So they probably just were cautious, with holding them out.
Now, I can confidently say if 2 out of 3 of those play, we win week 1. And we're not even having this conversation. If Edwards plays, that run game isn't as prevalent as it was in the second half. Or even if he doesn't, you have Gordon, because our secondary was decimated after that. It's already, we got the 3 strong DBs. Granted, we had to pick 6 from Wright, but he's not somebody that we look to be the cornerstone for our secondary. But you got one of the best DBs in the game out there, probably the best nickel DB in the game out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different game, and we're having a totally different conversation. So. Another reason
we had our number 1 corner out there. We were just missing 2 and 3 because
you don't know. See, but it's good. Just like you let me have my Michigan moment, so I'll let you have your Miami moment.
Hey man, Tyreek Stevenson was out there, man. Our number 1 corner was out there. So
you got a autograph, right?
Oh yeah.
You got an autograph.
He was out there. He tossed the pill up to me, threw it back to him.
That's
like,
love,
hey,
man.
come sign his jersey. He motioned to me to come around. Signed a jersey, got a pick with me and my son. So yeah, man. The U, we do it right, man. We support our own, baby.
Yeah, and I love the way y'all beat Notre Dame too. So
yes, sir.
That brought me happiness.
Yeah,
so
more of that to come, especially next year when they come up here to South Bend. I'm gonna be in that thing for sure.
I'll go to that. Let me know if you're going, man. I'll go. I'm not a fan.
I'm telling you right now, I'm going.
And actually, you know what? Michigan. I don't know where it's going to be at, but Michigan plays Notre Dame next year too.
Okay.
So yeah, we can work something out.
Week. Any other games? Let me pull this up real quick. Any other week 2 games stick out to you? I think I mentioned there's a Super Bowl rematches.
Yeah, the Super Bowl rematch.
Chiefs Eagles. That's in the 3:00 window. 3:25 in Kansas City. Eagles Chiefs. What do you got? Any? How do you see that going?
I can't jump off the Eagles. I'm not on their bandwagon by any means, but I can't. I mean, even the first week, even though they attempted to blow it, I mean, they know how to close out games. They have a dominant roster, dominant team. You're starting to see the age in Kansas City, not by Mahomes more so, but they're gonna have to retool and do something. Andy Reid also, I don't know how many years he has left coaching, so.
I'm going with the Chiefs in this game.
Yeah.
Only because early season it's hard.
That's out of the country too. So I was saying that's a tough one.
Home underdogs. Like when Vegas puts you as an underdog, you at home. Sometimes I don't
especially
know.
at KC.
I'm rolling with the home dog in that one. Man. Kansas City, they giving this what they got Chiefs minus 1.5. I mean Eagles minus 1.5. I'm sorry. So. Yeah, I think Chiefs get it done, man. I'm not ready to write them off, even though this is Mr. Swift's retirement bachelor ceremony.
Mr. Swift.
Yeah, it's all wrapped.
Taking out his own teammates, man. Like, man. So I'm not. So I want to clarify. I'm not jumping off the Chiefs, man. I'm just jumping off their. I don't think they're going to be the Eagles. That's all I'm saying. Like, I don't think they're. I very much think they'll win their division, and I very much think that they'll make it to the playoffs, and I still very much think Patrick Mahomes may not have the best season, but he's the best quarterback in all football.
I like the way the Chargers look, though, for sure.
Yeah. And you know what? I've always been a fan of Herbert. Rightfully so.
Weren't you supposed to say I've always been a fan of Jim Harbaugh?
I have. That's a given, but... I only bring it up because Herbert gets a lot of slander, man. And I get it. Rightfully so, in a way, because he can't win the games that matter in the playoffs. I get it. I understand that. We also got to remember, people can kind of twist your words around when you say this, but like Peyton Manning went through the same thing for a while. I'm not saying he's Peyton Manning. I'm just using it as a reference. Like sometimes once you get over that hill, that's all it takes is just that one time. And then after that, it's a different ball game. But He looked good. Harbaugh's proven he's a winning coach, so you can already tell he changed the culture over there. So I Chargers for sure. I see them being just as much of a threat. They almost made the playoffs they're a game away from making the playoffs last year, right?
No, they did make the playoffs.
They did make the playoffs. I'm sorry.
They played Houston.
Right.
And he had like 4 turnovers in that game. So
and that game
I think that's what kind of fuels that narrative of him not being able to show up when it matters. But if you want to change the narrative, man. Go out there and play well this year and take your team back to the playoffs and do it right this time.
Still a top 10 quarterback in the NFL.
No, for sure. I mean, it ain't hard nowadays to be a top 10 quarterback.
Yeah.
Tell me you're a top 6 quarterback, and then we get.
Yeah, he's in the debate. He's in the debate for it. I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying he's in the debate. He's in the argument. So.
For sure. I got one just on the way out. And only because when I looked at it, I saw the kind of the coincidence that Vikings play Falcons, and the last time J.J. McCarthy was on the field prior to this last game was national championship against Michael Penix. So I think that was a cool little news nugget. But Falcons, Vikings, I mean, you see how you see that going?
Same way it happened before. I'm on a shout out to
Michigan. I said, how do you see the Falcons Vikings going? Not how you see JJ McCarthy.
One and the same at these days, man. Shout out to Michigan Diehards page, but they posted that Monday night pretty much. It was they were the same thing what you were just saying is the repeat first time they played each other since the the national championship. But even if it didn't matter who was at quarterback, it was Darnold or him, I got Vikings winning that game. I don't know, man. I like the Falcons, but I still think they're a year or two away from really being that team that I think they could be. They've had a good draft last couple of years, so
yeah,
they're a couple years away.
So just thought about doing it, man. I guess we'll watch the games this week, and we'll get back to it next week and see how the week 2 shapes out and project week 3.
Looking forward to it.
Yes, sir, for sure, man. Appreciate y'all for checking us out. Check us out next week on Room A-108.